Hey, good morning. It's a little later than normal whenever I'm doing these live streams, and I'm still continuing on with just trying to live stream a few of the projects that I'm working on. So I guess all I've done so far is the circle HUD generator, which is pretty much come to a finish besides tweaking some animations, and I went ahead and plugged it into my website. So we could look at that on my website real quick. So now if you add a node, it's going to come up as one of these little funny HUD elements. That was a weird looking one. It's definitely got some character. And so let's see if I group select, I can get all of them to go at once. I don't think it's an issue, but if I load one of these, they'll come up random, and if I load it again, it's going to come up different. But not a big deal. Also, I did fix this copy-paste issue, so if I figured out what was wrong. It was all this just coordinates, getting all the coordinates right, so I was trying to work on this HUD generator over here. Let's see, and then if I copy these, and now if I go somewhere else and paste them, it should show up on my screen, so it's not going to show up in a random place. Whoops. Oh, well, I'm not saving this. I don't know what I did. I had all those nodes selected, so I just connected them all to this. If that were to happen, you'd easily be able to fix it. Just gonna select. I'll just break that out and reattach it. Okay. And I was afraid of that. I was going to have some background music on this time, which apparently can be YouTube Audio Library. As far as I can tell, that's the only thing I'm allowed to have. Maybe somebody can explain to me differently. I would like to keep the chat up, but I think if I minimize this, and I don't want to have that whole box up. Not that anybody's actually watching live, but in case someday somebody does, I've also got to figure out how to get that up there so that I can see it. So if you see the thumbnail, I've been designing a personal homepage. I've been going back and forth many times over what did I want that to look like. I live in a suburban neighborhood, but it's actually a pretty beautiful suburban neighborhood. I really appreciate where I live. And so I thought maybe I would just show something like kind of the tops of houses. I really like the artwork in Bluey, and yes, I watch Bluey because I've got a 5-year-old son. Oh, Bluey neighborhood map. I want the map. See, Bluey neighborhood. Maybe if we can look at a picture of the artwork in there. Like these houses are pretty neat, but I'm trying not to reference them too much because I don't want to just look like I ripped off Bluey. And then, besides Bluey, let's think something else that I like. Maybe like Felix Colgrave. Look at his like bugs. Where's the video? I don't have the image. Oh, here we go. These little bugs marching. Yeah, there's a music video that he did that I really like, that kind of style. I don't know, it's just a nice nice video. Nothing much to it, but it's kind of relaxing. So I'm doing some design work to figure out what I want my website to look like, and then thinking about how maybe I can put in some animation into it. I definitely got some problems here. I really like working on design almost as much as programming and math, maybe even more nowadays, because I feel like there's similar problems to work through, sometimes using the tools, sometimes thinking about how the layouts should work. But there's not a right answer, so it's almost more interesting in a way, because like in mathematics you're going to find an answer, or computer programming you find something that functions. In this, it's you almost don't even know if it works, I guess, until people look at it. So anyway, so I'm kind of messing around in here, and I don't know if it's working or not. I guess you guys could tell me. And right now I'm just adding some drop shadows to elements in the houses. And by doing that, I realized I kind of set this up maybe not quite how I want it. So this house I have not added a drop shadow to. I need to name my layers over here. If you're not familiar with Affinity, it's a cheap alternative to Photoshop. I mean, to Adobe, but it's really nice software that's lacking a few of the functionalities, but you only pay $50 once. The Adobe subscriptions, are monthly, and they get really expensive after a while. Man, I can't talk this morning. I guess I'm really still not awake. But here's what's going on with these. So, like, this is the roof on this curve, and I'm going to add a drop shadow to it. So, I'm going to add an outer shadow. I've got to edit it, so I'm going at like 225 degrees, and then I'm just kind of messing with this. Add some radius, change the offset a bit, and add the intensity. I'll be looking at all the other ones to see if it's sort of consistent. Okay, and so what's the problem with this? Is that there's a shadow on the sky, and I don't really want these things to cast shadows on the sky. So, how did I fix that? So I've got these things grouped. I'm going to copy and paste them, and then pull them outside of the group. And then I'm going to add them together into one object. Okay, so now then we have just a single object here. It's got kind of a funny path, it looks like. But that's okay. I don't really need to worry about that path as long as it's... it's leaving a drop shadow where I don't want it. So let me take this curve and remove the shadow. Okay. And now then let me group this. I think maybe that shadow was coming from... not group it. I haven't added it together into one object. Okay. Maybe that shadow was coming from the layer behind it because I still have this on. Yeah, so there's no shadow. And now what I want to do is take the elements in this layer and drag them on to that one so that layer acts as a mask. Now, whatever's in those layers are drawn in that area. And so we're getting the drop shadow, but it's not dropping onto the sky. I've already got that working here, so you can see the drop shadows hitting the house, but it's not going off. That's probably a weird shadow. But I'll just leave it for now. I can mess with these things forever. So I'm not going to do that right now. Let's see, the last house. Okay. So, same thing. I'm going to select all the layers, copy and paste them. Turn this into one object. So now it's just like that. Then we're going to use that object as just a mask for the house. Okay, now we have this empty group. I'm going to delete. And we can add a drop shadow, and now it won't cover up the sky. Okay. Okay. I'm going to add some more windows eventually to these houses. I'd like to add some flagpoles. I might even shift some of them down a little bit. And eventually I'm going to add some like clouds going by and other things up here in the sky, maybe a balloon or a glider or something. And I might even do something weird with some of the clouds and have some of them, well, I don't know, I'm going to experiment. That's a weird idea, but okay. So let's see. I'm having a lot of issues with the spacing of these letters. If I evenly space my links here, which these are going to be the links to a professional, this is going to show, my work history and my resume and everything. Then I've got math and design, where I can show my projects off that are professional related. And then finally personal, which will be just like, well, other things that I've done that aren't professionally related. I do have I've written a couple of novels. I might put something like that in there. Or just general stuff about myself. Because after all, it is my own personal webpage. But if I space evenly across the links, and then I space my letters to like center on the links, let's see, that and that, then the letters are spaced in a wonky way, so those aren't even. Actually, it's not looking too bad right now. And I did change this a little bit from what it was before. Maybe, maybe I'll keep it like that. I was looking at it before and it looked really off. But I think that looks okay. Okay. So maybe we should go ahead and add some windows. And what I'm going to do is decide on a height relative to something. So I'm not really using a grid system here. I'm not really using a color palette. I'm just kind of winging things right now. Probably come back to bite me eventually. But I think what I'm going to do is maybe double the length of one of these panes. That might be a good size for a window. I might even go 1.5 times. Yeah, let me go 1.5. And then that's going to be my height. So if I look at this, if I click this cornered rectangle, I should be able to change the corner here. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe about like that. And I want this to the outside. Although I kind of liked the size of it, so what I'm going to do is go to the stroke and just put the stroke on the inside alignment. Okay, so it doesn't get bigger. Actually, that stroke, well, it's pretty thin compared to what I've had. So, okay, our height's 54.1 pixels. You can do math straight in here. So my width, let's put in, let's try times 1.618. So if you're not familiar with that, that's the like the golden ratio, which is supposed to be pretty ideal for proportions and architecture and things. So let's throw that in there. See how this looks, and then I'm going to take the windows. I want the windows to be white, but the same lightness as the sky in the background. So I'm going to do a fill of this color, but then if I double click it, I can see the HSL, and I want it to be 0 saturation because I don't want any color in it. And maybe I want a little saturation actually, you know, because it's probably reflecting the sky. So maybe like at 20 or something. I might tie it together a little bit too. Okay, so that's what my windows are gonna look like. And then the final thing that I want to go ahead and do, since I'm going to be copying and pasting this, I don't have to, well, I guess I could probably just group select a bunch of items. You know what, I feel like it's still a little bit small. I kind of feel like the frame is maybe too large. Let's go here. Try that. Whoa, what am I doing? I don't even know what's happening there. I think I'm in the house or something. Okay. This needs to be somehow grouped with that. So there's house 1 about halfway down. Where did it go? I've dropped it into there. One day maybe I'll stream from my actual computer that I work from, because this gets pretty inconvenient. Okay, so we're gonna probably have like 4 of these. Maybe that's too much. It starts looking like an office building.
Peloton makes rowers now? Oh, why? Well, our rowers actually seem to have a row with the form assistant feature. Cool, huh? Try the Peloton row risk-free for the 30-day home trial.
Maybe I should just make these bigger, actually. Maybe I'll keep the width and just make the height. That's going off the whole thing. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. So what I would like to do is add an inner shadow. I'm not 100% sure how the inner shadows work. I think they go below the curve, which is what I want. So I have to add 2 effects here actually. I might add both an inner and an outer shadow. So let's add an inner shadow, and let's just, I'm not 2 in the same direction. Everything else, it's going to be on top of the stroke. So we might have to expand the stroke out. I don't know that. To do that, you go to Layer, Expand Stroke, and now then we've got 2 separate objects: the stroke and the glass part. So we have the wood and the glass separated. And let's go ahead. Actually, let me just kind of delete this one because we'll figure out what we want to do with it after we work with this one a little bit. Okay, so now then let's add this to the glass pane part. Interesting. Is it the same size? Oh yeah, because I did the inner stroke. So it's going to be the same size. Let's I can shrink it down. It doesn't want to do it because this is still a rounded rectangle. because of the corner radius. So let's see, I would just want to snap. It's not snapping. Not gonna help me. Okay. Okay, so it's about there, and then we'll increase the corner radius, or I guess decrease it. There we go. Now we want the inner shadow. Okay, so that's how we want it to be, but we definitely want it to be a bit more subtle than that. I'm surprised the intensities are like 0 instead. Just a little bit. You can see, there we go. Maybe about there. And then on this thing here, I want an outer shadow. Okay. Shadow. That shadow looks a bit hard. It's a very soft shadow. Maybe it's hard. It's not the right term, but there it's a little too dark on the inside. I might change the opacity down a little bit. There we go. Now the question is, does it look fun? I think most of these are going to be about like that. Let's see. Okay, house. I'm going to group these. You end up getting groups inside of groups inside of groups. And I kind of liked this is in the center. And I think I want this to be evenly spaced. And I believe if I hit the left and right arrows, yeah, it'll show me the spacing. So, about 45 and 46. Let's see, and something else I'm going to do with this is kind of acting as an arrow, and although I do want people to just enjoy the background artwork when they come to my site, I really want them to click the links. So I want the links to stand out. Let's see if we can add an adjustment layer. There's a mask, I want an adjustment, and I just want a black-white adjustment. Very top. So what's standing out here is, of course, this the links. That's what I want. But I'm also going to help it a little bit by having these houses point, and that's kind of happening already. I'm wondering, but I want them to get too crowded together, and it is going flat point, flat point, flat point right now, so maybe it wouldn't hurt if I swap these two and nudge this one over a little bit. Let me see. If I... Oh my god. Yeah, the whole house. So I kind of want to nudge that over a bit. Maybe kind of nudge these two over a little. And then these two I'd kind of like to swap. So now then, each house is pointing at one of the links. Speak out of there just a bit more. Okay. Let's see. Turn off this adjustment layer. That was actually a previous design where I saved my progress at some point. I don't need that on right now. In fact, is that the whole thing? Oh, I thought that I got rid of that. In here, oh no, I was going to copy it and remove all that just because it was a lot of junk to copy over. I moved on from it. No, where's my adjustment layer? Where did it go? It's at the very top. Okay. Let's turn that back off. So, how do I want these windows to look? Some of them I kind of want to try turning sideways. Let's go to this house. And I just paste it there. Oops. Paste. Back where it was before. So for this house. That's where you're supposed to name your layers. So now that the house is acting as a mask, if you're not sure what a mask was, and you're watching this, I'm masking the shadows, so this window won't draw outside of the house area. Come on, computer. What are you doing? Okay. So I'm wondering if I can... This one I might just equally space across. Let's put one in the middle. Let's go into something weird. Okay. I can either eyeball it or compute it. I think I'm just going to eyeball it in this case. But something's also funny, like why is it not? That doesn't look centered. Okay, so I might have to compute in the middle here, get something that's a little funny looking. So what have we got? Our X position is 289.5 and our width is 403.3. Let's see. So, did I click this right as an ad's coming up? Hey, I can skip the ad. Oh man, why did YouTube start doing this? Is this the new CEO? I gotta shoot 2 ads in a row. Okay, so the width is 403.3, and we want to divide that by 3. So, actually no, not by 3, right? It's a little more complicated than that. So the width is 403.3. How wide is our window? this width is 61.6. So we're going to do -3 times 61.6, and that gets me the white space with the empty space between the windows, and then there should be 4 empty spaces. So if I divide those by 4, and I know how large each of those spaces should be. So 54.6 roughly. And so the way I can do this now is let's just kind of snap it, or is it not going to want to snap? I don't know what it's snapping to. Oh, maybe it's the left pane. Let's see, what was this one's X value is 247.4. So for this, we're going to put it at 247.4. Oh, interesting. It's putting the X value as the center. So we're going to have to add roughly like 30.3 or 30.8. So plus 30.8. That still looks funny. What in the world is happening? Does this one have an odd X value as well? Oops. I'm grabbing the right thing. Or not. That's why. This one. 289.5. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. That shouldn't be from like the center. Okay, 289.5. The stroke is just an outer stroke, so what the spaces hanging off the left is the stroke, so I should probably account for those. Also, so really, oh, but I'm looking at the whole group here, so those aren't strokes, that's the group itself, 289.5. Interesting. Okay, let's see, so what did I get here? 54.6. So let's take this one's X value and add 54.6. Something seems really off with that. What did I do? Did I grab the wrong thing whenever I was computing this? The width should be 403.3. Okay. That's the width of one of those. Now then for a window. Well, it says 403.3, but it is grabbing something. I wonder if it's if there's that mask is messing it up or something. So this curve, why is it sticking way out there? Shouldn't it be? Undo. Okay, I see. So let me go back to this, and you see there's a node out here. I don't remember how I originally constructed that, but somehow it's got this funny node that's hidden behind the roof. So I'm going to go to do as my node tool. It's got a couple of weird nodes sticking out there. I don't need any of those. I really need this, I think. Probably don't need this one. I'll go ahead and leave it. There we go. That's why it was all wonky. Now, what do we get? 408. No, the width is 393.9. That will make a difference. So it should be 393.9. So I've got 52.2 as my spacing, and then of course the X value also makes a difference. So that's 298.9. Okay. 298.9. That looks as expected. And then, so I did -3 times these widths, and let me double check, those widths are 61.1. Okay, and divide that by 4 to get all the space, and should add 52.2. So this X value plus 52.2. And this one should also be that now plus 52.2. I am obviously off somewhere. What am I doing wrong? Well, let me just see. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with my method. It's too early in the morning. But let's see if it's still going up to there. But at this point, I can probably just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact. I've got too much space there anyway. Okay. So what I'm going to do is take this whole object and just shift it down. I'll even make it a little bit lower. Then just center house and then take these three, bump them up a little bit. Okay, and then let's take a couple of those. Copy and paste. So go on out of that mask so I can move them around. And then we're going to stick them onto this house. Of course I didn't copy and paste two that were next to each other. Okay. Control-C, Control-V. That way I get the same spacing. Okay, there we go. And then, let's see, I'll take these two. And I grouped all the windows together, that's okay. Let's pull them out here. Nothing to be in that. There we go. And I want them to go into this one, which I think is the last one at the bottom. So I want to, it's supposed to be in the back a little bit. I'm going to shrink it just slightly. Snapping to things, so I forget that. Let's first move it. Just want to change how it's going to change. Anyway, do it just slightly. Okay, let's center that. Yep. Okay, and then I'm going to drag it down and drop it into here. I'm going to say changed color. I've got this background so that it's what does that called? Atmospheric effect. My really fancy atmospheric effect, where some of the stuff in the background is a little bit closer to the color of the sky, since they're farther away, and you would have more sky blocking the objects in the back. Now then, I don't know if I want to put a window on that one or not at all. And let's see. I think I'm going to take the right windows, put them on this one. That one's behind that. That's the background, so it's got to be that one. Let's come over first. Why am I using these? Let me delete that. Windows are this size. Okay. This will be the wrong one because they're not showing up. There it is. I do feel like we should have at least a window on that one in the back, so get your window. Move it back there, shrink it up. Cool, so we have a little city. I still feel like this one's a little bit high. Why am I grabbing that? That's weird. Anything? Okay, I guess I should just do that. Gotta be careful how this roof comes to that roof. I don't want them to intersect. Put that out a little bit more. Maybe even move this one down just a little bit. That hill, I want the outside border to be just a slightly lighter color of the lightest colors. So let's see, let me grab that here. Maybe I already got that. Let's go to that, and then let's go to HSL and just increase the lightness just a tiny bit. Maybe 80. And then I guess this would probably be behind us. Oh, it is. Okay, it's got the atmospheric effect already, and kind of the bluish color on top of it. So now I've got a fun little city. What's next? I wanted to add a couple of flagpoles. I might animate some flags, but not that the flags will mean anything. It's just to add a little bit of color. Should be fun if there's some color and movement. So let me try that. It should be pretty simple. Let's see. Pen tool. That one is just a vertical line. I want it to be, for now, I won't think about it too much. It's going to be a gray. Well, I guess I want it to be like kind of a light color, the main thing. Circle at the top, and then you should be able to extend this up maybe a bit more than that. together. And then, so where's this house? So really, this should be a part of that house, but right now it's acting as a mask. So if I drop it into the house, you'll see it just, we're going to see this little bit of the flagpole, which is actually the opposite of what we want to see. So I'm just going to drop it for now behind the house, and if I was doing this appropriately, it should probably be grouped with the house. It's way too big. Maybe it's okay. Let's see. A couple of them. This one will be shorter. We'll grab the line and drag it down. And put it behind this. Okay. And for now, to draw out the flag, I might just use some squares. This might be something I have to like hand animate later. Okay, let's see. That I don't want a stroke, and my flag might just be like maybe a bright red color. That's only 50 on that. Wow. Oh, but I actually might want to add more. Yeah. So let's see, maybe like a 64. That's just highly saturated. I want that down to, I like the kind of the highly saturated color, but that might be too much. Let's see, maybe 85 or something. That was supposed to be the fill color, not the stroke color. And the stroke is not supposed to exist. Okay. That's going to be my flag. It's maybe a bit long. I'm not sure if the height is bad, but it's kind of long. Okay. And then, so we're going to convert all these to curves. Convert to curves. And then use the node tool. Oops. Both of these to kind of come down. But what's going to be I'm going to have to do that. Let's see, so I want this to point. So here, where it's like, kind of a question of how am I going to solve this? I just have to put them here, like right on. The easiest way to do that, actually. I don't want these angles to like meet up quite the same. Okay, so I'm going to do something like that here, maybe to here. Oops. And you're going to be independent. And there we go. Okay, and then finally, up to curves. Beautiful. I have a little flag there. Okay. That one. I realized I had the ellipse was filled a different color. Okay. Let's see. Let's add a little bit of a shadow here, so I'm going to add a gradient tool. That should be behind this one. Okay, and I'm going to adjust these colors. And that color I want to be this mouse is not great. There we go. Got it. Okay. There we go. This one. This end. Hello. There we go. Oh, maybe it's a single click and I'm double clicking it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Anyway, I just want to make this a little bit darker, so I do want HSL, but it's just sliders. Basically, just want to kind of make this just a little bit darker, kind of subtly. Maybe I can go to there, but I'll change the center point of the gradient back a little bit. Okay, like that. Oops, I want to add another point there. don't remember if there's a way here to copy styles. I remember in Illustrator, I think I could copy these gradients. And, so if you're familiar with Adobe Illustrator, I think there's a way to grab that gradient. I can just put it on the other side. Here, I'm not so sure how to do that. That's okay, it's not too hard to do. Which one is... So I want that one. Okay, so... take that one and get something pretty close to whatever's over here. Oops, I didn't do that. Okay, run with the tool. And I want to do something a little more with the flagpole too. This other flag, I think I'm going to color it yellow. So I have to name one of these. This is the red flag. And this one. Saturation.
Download any video to watch anytime.
Yellow flag. Huh, weird. There we go. Okay. Let's grab a gradient. Okay. And that one, and have it. Let me find both first before. So I can see what it's actually going to look like. This color. I'm just going to make it a little bit darker. Am I looking at the right thing? Fuck, I'm moving the wrong side. I'm moving this side. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna grab that. I want this layer. Okay, that's I believe the one that gets darkened in. Okay. That, and then just add a little bit. Okay. I've got my yellow flag. That one. yellow flag. Come over here. Yellow and red, maybe that's two McDonald's. I like yellow, it's happy. Maybe the red should turn to orange. So it doesn't look like a fast food company sort of thing. I want it to be in that group. Maybe like right above it. The yellow flag would be just a little bit smaller. Well, that's coming together pretty nicely. I might stop there for now. But I might change this one to an orangey color. Wonder if I can do that just by adding a color overlay. Whew. Not that kind of color overlay. That's interesting. Because my saturation is 0 and my light is 0. I think it's still black. I have the opacity down too low. And I don't want it to be too dark, because the dark is the links, and that's what I want to stand out. So I need this to be kind of a little light. So almost the color of the roofs. I could also do slide the hue around. Maybe we can make it purple. I don't really use purple. Don't know that I want to do that. Maybe I'll go back to the orangey color. That's not a very red flag. I got the inside of another group. Let's see, this is the orange flag. Oh, I will do the same too now. Let's lighten that up. Alright. Okay, I think I'm going to call it a morning. Eventually this will be probably the background for my homepage on my website, and then I'll probably make a mobile version where these go vertically, the MBK, and then it's probably going to cut off somewhere in this video. I might have to squeeze some things together.